Hi babies, hi cuties, hi darlings, hi sweets. How are you, my loves, my babes? Hi. I hope this video finds you well. This is a general message, so take what resonates, leave the rest. It is also timeless, so whenever you find it is the right time. Also, use your own discernment and intuition, please. Please, huh? I will never reach out to you for personal readings because I'm not doing them, and I would never do that anyway. So please report those people. I am not in the comments saying, here's my Cash App and my number. I need to give you a reading. My Cash App and PayPal are both in the description of the channel. So whoever that is not me. All right, babies. Let's get into it, shall we? There is no dark witch in your energy, and I don't need to tell you about it, okay? All right. Let's see what's up with it. So, the first thing I was called to look up is Coyote medicine, or Coyote medicine, however you want to pronounce it. I grew up in New Mexico on a ranch, and we called them coyotes, but for some reason I call it coyote medicine whenever I put medicine behind it, so whatever that means for you. I am on Shaman's blog. Let's see where we can find some information on my little coyote. So it is time to see that message. If any coyote might have for me, open. Coyote medicine is about the balance of wisdom and folly or play. Coyote reminds us that the true teachers of wisdom have a great sense of humor. There are many myths of Coyote as the creator and trickster. A quick web search will give you a ton of great stories to read. All right. Coyote is a smart and skillful, often looking for ways to take shortcuts or use the skills of the others for their own benefit. And like in the cartoons with Wile E. Coyote, it's not uncommon for things to go awry because he has made things way too complicated. Being a master trickster, Coyote repeatedly falls for his own tricks, taking self-sabotage to an art form. Are you taking life too seriously? Are you complicating what is already simple? What is really simple in some area of your life? Are you too making self-sabotage an art form? See through your self-sabotage and have a good laugh. Remember, Coyote's medicine is in laughter and joking so that you can see things from a new viewpoint. And interestingly, interesting, because it says in Animal Speak, which I do have that book. I keep meaning to put my bookcase behind here so I can actually like pull these books when they come up. The Coyote teaches the balance of wisdom and folly and how they both go hand in hand. The image of the wise fool has been used in the lore of many societies. This is the individual who seems to be a simpleton, and yet the words and actions have a much greater wisdom than it is initially recognized. And hilariously, interestingly, I was called to pick a very serious, I think it's a more serious deck than what is coming with this message. So I find that interesting. And I almost might change my mind here. Might change my choice. So what I'm getting here is there may be some you have these expectations, and I'm also getting they're like super subconscious. You're like, I'm laid back, I'm flexible, and you know, you're telling yourself that, but you have these expectations, and when they're not fulfilled, you're back down into these lower vibrations again, instead of, you know, dealing with them in another way, which would be like laughing it off or being like, man, this is unreal, like what the hell. And we have the other song that the song that came on shuffle is Ain't My Day by Corey Kent and I believe Colby Cooper. It's not mentioning this, but when I clicked on the song, it said his name, so I don't know what's happening. 555 on the clock here. Damn, I talked for a minute without like even pulling cards. Left 30 early, I still showed up late. Boss wasn't buying what I had to say. Took it on the chin with a smile on my face. Nah, it ain't my day. So it's just be like, oh my God, you know what? Tomorrow's gonna be a new day. And really checking yourself that you're actually feeling and being flexible with whatever transpires, what letdowns happen, what sidesteps, jaunts, or not, that's not the word I want to use. Oh my God, I cannot think of the word, but like, you know, just an unplanned diversion. I'm gonna see if any of these decks pop out to me. I might use it, but I'm still called to use this deck, so we'll see. It's a very serious deck compared to what is being asked, so maybe there's something there. Yeah. Maybe there's like growth and expectations of others. We have the Princess of Transformation, or sorry, Princess of Wands, and the card says Transformation. And that's, to me, that card always pops out as like a message you don't want to hear, and you're like, meh. Like a kid having to get homework, you know, instead of like, oh, I thought we were gonna, it's like the kid goes on spring break in whatever age, and there's just a bunch of homework that needs to be done over spring break. Like a bunch of books need to be read and a report written and that type of thing. That's like something you don't want to hear. It's like, oh, what? I wanted to play. This didn't go as planned. I just spit everywhere. This didn't go as planned. This was supposed to happen this way. I was supposed to have my cake now. And if it might help, like laughing at yourself and being like, oh, I'm being a little toddler right now. What the hell? And you don't embrace that, like throw a fit, whatever, like laugh at yourself. We have and once again, we have that younger energy. We have the Prince of Construction, or sorry, the Prince of Pentacles, which is the Page of Pentacles in this deck, and it says Construction. Man, this is throwing me for a loop here. And that's the Knight of Pentacles. Sorry, I said page, I meant to say knight. That's the knight, but it's still giving that younger energy. We have like the child there, and then moving into like that teenager energy. That young adolescent teenager energy. And my back is hurting, and I feel like a lot on my shoulders right now. 444 on my clock as I just looked up. You are meant to continue working, and but there needs to be a balance of, like, actually what I'm seeing now is that message you don't want to hear is you still have some work to do when it comes to being flexible, when it comes to keeping your vibration high and letting this stuff roll off your back. Like, you know, it's like water off a duck's back, like not letting it stick to you, just nice and slick, rolling it off. You're letting it stick. Like I said, I felt like pressure on my back and my shoulders. You're letting it stick. You're letting it bother you and weigh you down. And there may be this illusion that you were like over that, you know? But you're being met with more challenges to be like, nah, you're not over that just yet. No. It's still happening. That's still within you, and it needs some lovingness. And in that song it says, yeah, there's always tomorrow, just ain't working today. Still got a little drink in the bottle and it's calling my name. Yeah, I know that I'll be hurting in the morning, light, but it ain't my day, so I'm drinking tonight. And with this song, it's kind of feeling like there's like a compilation of a lot of things weighing you down. And it gets to that point where you have your toddler fit because the one little thing goes awry, right? And you're just like, bro, you know, or you have your like stress and anxiety when you thought like you were really good at, you know, pivoting and moving with that energy. But I'm just like feeling this really like stuck, rigid energy in my body. And it's like, you know, if you're not like flexible on your feet, like athletes that do a lot of like pivoting and like football or basketball or football, like soccer and stuff, where their knees get like hurt a lot, if they don't have the strength and the, you know, so they have to do the strength and conditioning, they have to do the running and quick movements, but also lift the weights to be agile on their feet, but also have the strong muscles to support those joints. And those joints aren't being supported, it's rigid. And if you're gonna try and pivot with like super stiff legs and that haven't been exercised in the appropriate way, you may injure your knee. If you're just rigid and stuck, you know, you got your knees locked up. And that's where, you know, if you find that things are happening that are uncomfortable, or, you know, you're like, man, is this bad luck? What the hell is this? Like, what's happening? It's because there's that rigidity and you're being like pushed even further and poked on to be like, whoa, you gotta like settle down, like cool off. Like you gotta learn to pivot with this stuff. We have the High Priestess in reverse. With the Three of Wands in reverse. And it says Enterprise. If you're kind of in that energy of like, are my ships not coming in? Are my winnings not coming in? Why is this not going in my direction? It's truly not a secret why it's happening. In fact, you know, but it's like one of those things, that message you don't want to hear, so you turn your face away from it. That, you know, there has to be some more flexibility. There has to be that light-hearted energy. Like, yeah, you're made, like the Coyote medicine says, are you taking things too seriously? Are you making things complicated that are really simple? When all you gotta do is you be like, man, this is ridiculous. Like, what? That type of thing. Justice card in reverse. Oh, the first thing I heard when it popped out was, this isn't fair. What's up with that? I want to know. With the 10 of Swords in reverse, and it says desolation. This isn't fair. But truly what is happening is meant to pull the swords out of your back, pull these old things out of you. It's like let those swords fall out. Let that pain fall off by relaxing and being like, well, just surrendering to what is. I know that's easier said than done, but what I'm hearing is like people, you all, whatever, if it resonates, is there's this, oh, well, I could have prevented this with this and I could have done that. Like maybe some of this beating yourself up, or maybe wanting to point a finger of like, damn it, if they wouldn't have done that, then this wouldn't have happened. That type of thing. Like, I should have just done it myself. Or, you know, once again, that's going back to, well, it's my fault. I shouldn't have trusted them to do this. Whatever. But really, it's like that mindset is blocking any ease in your life. And we have the 6 of Cups in reverse. It says satisfaction. And what I'm getting with this is this, once again, this is like the 10 of Swords falling off, and the 6 of Cups in reverse is, for one, I'm hearing you don't have to agree to this. You don't have to, you know, being in this grouchy energy and being pissed off and it's not my day. This is bullshit. This is unfair. You don't have to agree to that. You don't have to agree to that mindset. You can let that thought and feeling move through you in a quick moment, but you don't have to attach to that. It's almost like this is moving through you, and that's just like, you know, just a normal thought, like, oh my God, this is unreal. Like, this is ridiculous. But if you don't let that snag hang up within you and just be like, okay, that's a thought. I'm just, you know, that's an old thought. That's the toddler in me wanting to throw a fit. How funny. And turning it into, okay, I don't have to, with this 6 of Cups, that's like, no, not, it's like different from the past is what I mean. It doesn't have to be the same as it's always been. Breaking the pattern from the past, being different from the past. And it doesn't have to be that way. The reaction doesn't have to be, oh my God, I can't believe this, stressing out, just letting it ruin your fucking day. It doesn't have to be that way. And you can let that thought pass through and be like, okay, well, that's the pissed off toddler in me. It doesn't have to, I don't have to agree to this. We have the Star in reverse. And what I'm seeing here is a couple things. See how there's that triangle around her? You might be, like, you might have this disbelief, or you don't see it at all. Like, you're choosing not to see it. You're still protected. But it's almost like you're not believing that you truly are protected, and nothing can hurt you. Everything is good for you if you choose to see the benefit in it. Like, if you have a delay, there's something great coming out of it. It's putting you in the right spot, or it's protection. This quote unquote not wish fulfillment, this thing that's not becoming true of a wish, of a prayer or whatever, there's something higher than yourself, than your little ego mind can recognize, and there's a higher purpose. You are protected, and it is for a reason. And as soon as you recognize this, we get the King of Pentacles, and it says conception. As soon as you recognize that mindset, that concept, that everything can be good for me, everything is good for me, everything is for a reason, and it's my choice to see it that way. I have 4:55 on my clock. It's my choice to see that, oh, things can move good for me. Things can move quickly for me. There can be this high horsepower, badass, high performance life. I can have that. But little things are going to happen to keep me safe and to keep, direct me on the right way. And as soon as you recognize that, you master that whole, see how the homie's sitting on the world? That's when you master the physical world. That's when you master all of that. It's like, oh, this is for a reason. This is for me. Good stuff is coming from this. Okay, well, let's see what happens. Instead of, like, what if that toddler reaction comes up, like, don't don't suppress it, just let it flow through you. And be like, ah, yes, okay, well, that's me having a fit real quick. Hold on. Bro, you cannot make this shit up. What did I fucking say? He's sitting on the world, and guess what card came out? The world. You can literally master this physical world. And with that, as soon as you have that mindset, that's when the cycle is completed. That's when more ease comes into your life. Damn, son. Damn. Damn. Interesting. We have the 9 of Swords, which says despair. 2 of Cups, unity. King of Wands, and it says innovation on there. This person is walking in the dark. It's kind of like unknown stuff can scare you. These shadows can scare you. But actually, if you understand that you are part of everything, and that's going into like connections with people, connections with the universe, all of that. And it's asking you to be creative with that innovation, to be creative with when those thoughts arise, when that feeling arises. You're asking to be, I'm still getting that damn shoulder tension and back stuff. Ugh. You're asking to be creative and recognize, like, okay, so how can I recognize that everything is one and everything is good for me? Instead of, oh, this is scary, I'm gonna submit to these shadows and the darkness and the unknown and, cower. You're being asked to, because the King of Wands is a master of creativity, power, fire, confidence, having confidence in yourself, having confidence in the universe and Most High. How can I get creative about that and recognize that everything is necessary? you get the thorns with the roses. And how can I pivot and work with this and master this energy instead of giving into this anxieties, fears, worries. And it's all shit that's like you're creating in your head. Like if something, let's say you're on your way to work and it's a slow day anyway at work or whatever, and then you have a vehicle issue. However, it works out that you can get home and do a quick little fix on it. And you're like, oh my God, instead of recognizing like, oh, it just happened on like the perfect day. It's a slow day at work. I let my boss know and I'm not going to worry about it. Like I'm grateful that didn't happen to me while I was 500 miles away from home. Instead, there's this has to be this positive shift in that thinking like, oh, okay, I was blessed enough to have this happen in, you know, my little circle around my home versus, you know, 500 miles away. And even if it does happen 500 miles away, there's always something that's going to get you sorted. Something's always going to get fixed. Whether it's you get a rental vehicle, whatever, things always work out. And being positive, seeing that light in it, like, oh, okay, this worked out. Fuck yeah. Shit happens. It ain't my day. Fuck it. Tomorrow will be better. And it's just being like, how can I be creative and master that creativity of spinning this and being like, well, at least it worked out. At least it's getting sorted. I'm still alive. That's cool. I know it's like, you're allowed to have your feelings. And I'm not saying like, don't like push that toddler tantrum down. That needs to come out and come out of you. Like exit you. Because that's like an old reaction. And if you're given, I saw 27 on the clock there. And if you're given this opportunity to let that flow through you and seeing it and, you know, as they say, being the observer in meditation, observing it like, oh, I'm having my fit right now. All right, well, I'm going to feel this real quick. And then I'm going to choose to spin it. And I'm going to create this new habit of thinking, of existing. And I'm going to get creative with it, and master that creativity, that everything is intertwined. Everything has a reason. Everything is connected. And I am protected. I'm choosing to see that I am protected. And it's not that bad. Because usually with that unknown and like, oh, what's coming next? Why is this happening? Why me? What am I going to do with this? That's really what freaks you out and what gets you in that shitty ass mood and energy. But it's going to come up, and it's just going to be that practice of shifting that mindset, you know, and not going to that toddler tantrum thing. All right, I'm going to end it there. Hell yeah. All right, babies, I love you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day. Be patient with yourself. Give yourself love. You know, this doesn't happen overnight. So if, you know, you have a slip up and you just like have a little meltdown, that's fine. That's part of the process that needed to come out anyway. But once you're aware of that, that's when you become the master. And becoming the master takes practice. I love you, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Okay, bye.